Hello everyone, I'm Betsul, and today we will talk about maintaining and repairing relationships from a psychological perspective. Human beings are social creatures, and throughout their lives, they form different types of relationships, like family, friendships, and romantic relationships play an important role in a person's mental health and overall happiness. Because of this, psychology focuses not only how relationships begin, but also how they are maintained and how they can be repaired when problems appear. Many people think that relationships will continue naturally over time. However, psychology shows that this is not always true. Stress, poor communication, different expectations, and emotional neglect can slowly harm even strong relationships. At this point, two key ideas become important. These are maintaining relationships and repairing relationships. Maintaining relationship means that every efforts that keep relationship healthy and balanced. These include clear communication, listening carefully, building trust, and giving emotional support. Psychological research shows that strong relationships usually grow through small and consistent actions, not big or dramatic gestures. Repairing relationships is necessary when conflicts or serious problems occur. Disagreements are normal in every relationships. What matters most is not avoiding conflict, but how people deal with it. Repairing relationships involves accepting mistakes, taking responsibility, and showing empathy and offering a sincere apology when needed. In this presentation, we will discuss why relationships break down, how healthy relationships can be maintained, and how damaged relationships can be repaired from a psychological perspective. And psychology reminds us that relationships are shaped not only by feelings but also by conscious decisions and behaviors. In conclusions, relationships require efforts. Love, I mean, only love is not enough to keep relationships strong in the long term. To build healthy and lasting relationships, people need to communicate openly, be aware of their actions, and be willing to invest time and energy into maintaining and repair their connections. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Fatih, and I'm going to talk about maintaining relationships. Maintaining relationships is the foundation of building healthy and long-lasting connections. According to psychology, for a relationship to continue, both sides must make conscious and consistent efforts. Healthy relationships do not survive by chance, but through everyday behaviors and interactions. One of the most important elements of maintaining relationship is communication. Open, honest, and respectful communication allows individuals to express their feelings and needs clearly. Effective communication also helps prevent misunderstanding and reduces the risk of conflicts escalating. Physiological research shows that the relationships in which individuals truly listen to each other tend to be stronger and more satisfying. Another key is trust. Trust is the cornerstone of any relationship and is built over time through consistent behavior. Keeping promises, being honest, and aligning words with actions helps strengthen the trust. In relationships where trust is present, individuals feel safer and more comfortable expressing themselves. Emotional support also plays a crucial role in maintaining relationships, trying to understand the other person's emotions, offering support during difficult times, and showing empathy deepen the emotional bond. When individuals feel emotionally supported, they are more likely to feel valued and connected within the relationship. Finally, healthy relationship requires mutual effort. The responsibility for maintaining a relationship does not belong to only one person. Making time for each other, showing interest, and investing effort into the relationship help strengthen the bond. Psychology emphasizes that sustainable relationships are built through conscious choices and continuous effort.
Hi, my name is Beyzanur and I'm talking about why do relationships break down. The breakdown of a relationship usually does not occur as sudden event or a single event, but rather as a result of a small problems that accumulate over time. According to psychology, relationships are often damaged not by one major mistake, but by neglected emotions, unresolved conflicts, and weakened communication. Understanding why relationships break down is therefore first and most crucial step toward repairing them. One of the most common reasons for relationship breakdown is communication problems. Over time, individuals may stop expressing their feelings openly or may focus on defending themselves rather than truly listening to the other person. As misunderstanding increase, individuals begin to feel unheard and emotionally isolated. And psychological research shows that poor communication often leads to emotional distance between partners. So, emotional neglect also plays a major role in a relationship breakdown. When one or both individuals fail to recognize emotional needs to the other, the connection begins to weaken. A lack of attention, appreciation, or emotional support can cause individuals feel unvalued. So, from a psychological perspective, people need to feel seen, understood, and appreciation from the others. So, finally, differences in expectations can contribute to breakdown of our relationships. When individuals do not clearly communicate what they expect from the relationship, disappointment and frustration may arise. Over time, these unmet expectations in partners become a distance between partners. In summary, relationship breakdown is often a gradual and unnoticed process. For repairing and damaged relationships and building healthier and more sustainable connections is essential to solve this problem. So, thank you for listening.
When relationships are damaged, repairing them is often seen as a process that involves communication, empathy, and taking responsibility. However, from a psychological perspective, one of the most difficult and critical point is the process is forgiveness. Today, I will focus on forgiveness in relationship based on psychological research as well as my own observation. First of all, it is important to clarify what forgiveness actually means. Forgiveness doesn't mean ignoring what happened or saying that the behavior was acceptable. In psychology, forgiveness is defined as a conclusion decision to reduce feelings of resentment, anger, and emotional pain towards someone who has caused harm. In this sense, in this sense, forgiveness isn't something we do for the other person, but mostly something we do for ourselves. Many psychological studies show that holding on to uh, unresolved, and resentment can negatively affect mental well-being. Chronic stress, emotional exhaustion, and anxiety are often linked to an inability to forgive. Because of this, forgiveness is considered an important factor is in emotional health and psychological resilience. However, psychology also emphasizes an important point: forgiveness isn't an obligation and it doesn't happen at the same pace for everyone. Forgiveness is a process. It begins with acknowledging that harm occurred and allowing oneself to feel hurt, anger, or disappointment. Only after these emotions are recognized can forgiveness gradually become possible. Expecting someone to forgive immediately is neither realistic nor healthy. From my own observation, forgiveness becomes more possible when the other person takes a responsibility for their actions. A sincere apology, accountability, and real behavioral change play a major role in whether forgiveness can truly occur. Without these elements, forgiveness often remains superficial. Even if someone says, I forgive you, unresolved emotional wounds may continue to affect in relationship. Another key concept connected to forgiveness is trust. Research suggests that forgiveness and trust are closely related but not identical. While trust can sometimes be rebuilt, there are situations where trust is deeply damaged and cannot fully return. And this leads to an important psychology reality. Not every relationship can be repaired, of course. Forgiveness doesn't always mean continuing and relationship. In some cases, forgiveness means letting go emotionally while choosing to distance oneself from an unhealthy dynamic. Psychology views this kind of forgiveness as a healthy coping strategy, not as a weakness. Empathy also plays an important role in forgiveness process. However, healthy empathy doesn't mean self-sacrifice. It is possible to understand someone's perspective while still protecting one's own emotional boundaries. Forgiveness can including saying, I understand, but I will not allow this behavior again. Finally, forgiveness requires time, patience, and emotional effort. It is not a single moment, but a gradual psychological process. When forgiveness occurs, relationship may either become stronger or individual may be gain freedom and inner peace by releasing emotional burdens. At this point, it is important to acknowledge that forgiveness doesn't always lead to reconciliation. Sometimes forgiveness is more about healing oneself than repairing this relationship, and this brings us to an important distinction: the difference between maintaining relationship and repairing them, which will be discussed in the conclusion in this presentation.
Hi, I'm Melike. In this presentation, we discuss how relationships can be maintained and how they can be repaired from a psychological perspective. Relationships are not only based on emotions, they require communication, awareness, and effort from both people. There is an important difference between maintaining and repairing relationships. Maintaining a relationship involves small daily action like open communication, trust, and emotional support. Repairing a relationship is needed when problems occur and requires responsibility, empathy, and time to rebuild trust. Psychology also shows that not all relationships should be repaired. Sometimes setting boundaries or living unhealthy relationship is the healthiest choice. Healthy relationships are built on respect, trust, and mutual effort. Awareness is key in the relationships. Understanding our own feelings, recognizing others, and addressing problems instead and ignoring them help relationships stay healthy. In conclusion, relationships take effort. Maintaining them daily and repairing them when necessary helps build strong and meaningful connections. Healthy relationships make people feel safe, valued, and understood. Thank you for listening.